Now let's talk about the behavior of password policies to check specific fields. Remember, if you enter a password, a feature of the password policy could be to say, hey, this password gets checked against fields of that specific object to ensure that the password did not contain, I like to say, simple to identify information. For example, if I just want to enter a password from an Active Directory account, a worse option could be to use my last name as part of the password, and so the policy should avoid that by checking these specific columns. To get the algorithm aware of which fields to be included in such a password policy check, there was a question in 8.0 which property at the end should be included in that check. And because it was a new implementation, the developers decided to use the flag show in wizard just for this check. Honestly, we show much more fields in the wizard than in each scenario can make sense to be used or to be considered in password checks. And because of that, in 8.1 our developers decided just to use a new field. There is now a contain name property for password check, which is in the database model on dialog column an is element property. And if this specific flag here is set, then password policies will consider that specific field in the password check. You can see that right here. I have some SQL for you. We are looking into the column dialog column. This is where we are store all column type information. As you can see, we are searching for the isElement property equals 1, which says this flag is set. I'm looking into the person table. I'm looking in the Active Directory account table. Yes, of course, we can look in all other target system tables as well if we like to. And if I just execute that statement, you easily can see the outcome. And the outcome is then all the fields just with that new flag. That means from a password policy perspective, you can see here default email address down to preferred name. It's that what is included in password policy checks. And for the Active Directory account, it's just CN, given name, mail, and so on. And these are the fields we expect. If we are talking about MVPs, that means multi-value properties, they will be splitted so that display and value can be checked separately. Additionally to that, exists the feature since 8.1 to just remove specific character classes from a random password. Remember, in the past, random passwords was generated on the basis of a password policy, but it was not possible just to avoid a specific character class. For example, it was not possible to configure that it is not really allowed just to use special characters or something else in your password. And to make that possible, a new feature was implemented, which now can as well be used. I just like to use Cambry. That is my account I like to use. Therefore, I need a web front and I try to log in too many times with the wrong password so that I get locked out. As you can see, right now it looks everything good. I'm as well able to log in. I just show you that. Here we are. This is my web front. I'm able to sign in, as you can see, and I log out immediately, especially because what I like to do here is first to enter my prerequisites. To get that behavior configured, I have to configure the password policy first. I'm on employees in my manager. As you can see, there are my password policies. I have to take the one identity password policy, which at the end, as you can see here, is for dialog user and person objects. I just enter this password policy. As you can see, it is configured. That means it was modified. And one of them was just max fail logins. It is set to 0, which means I can try as often as I like. So I just configure that, for example, to 6. Now I have 6 fail attempts before I get logged out. I store my password policy and immediately I step back into my web front. I need my username again, and now I need wrong passwords. First attempt, second attempt, third attempt, fourth, fifth, and sixth. And now with the next one, I should get an error message, another error message. And here we are. The user account was locked because of too many fail logins. Yes, of course, you saw I was using 7 logins. The reason for is I have 6 retries, just 1 login makes it's at the end then 7. And as you can see, I'm now logged out. If I step back into the manager and step to my employee objects, here we are, and I just refresh my list, there is nothing to see. Even if I just select my specific employee, you can just find a sign here which says logged login. If I just look into the master data pages, you can trust me, there is nowhere a flag that informs me that there is something going wrong. But for these things, logged employee accounts, exists a new filter. And as you can see, here is my user, my logged out user. So knowing that this specific user is logged out, the question is how we can just remove that. As you see in the manager, there is no task implemented yet that allows us just to remove this logged out from that specific person object. Therefore, we need the password portal. So I have to step first into the operations portal, and I have to do that because only from the operations portal or from the standard portal I get at the passcode I can use then to log in. Remember, we are not logged in again with the password because we are logged out, but we can use a passcode just to go in. To do so, I need the name of the user. So that means here from the user, I just take now the name of the user. Here we are. And with that, I'm just searching for that specific person that it is. And from here, I can just go to passcode. And because my database is configured in a way that I don't work with 4i passcodes, I can directly hit the passcode button. And here is the passcode I need. So I copy that to my clipboard. And now I just start the password portal. From the password portal, as you can see, I have a passcode. It's exactly the right choice. I have to enter the user account. I hope everything is correct. Continue. It's asking for the passcode. Here we are. And I have to enter the captcha like always. In doing so, I should now be able to reset my password. And I have at the end to reset the password here for my employee account. That was the one I was logged out with. So here we are, and I need a new password for. And latest with that, I should now be able just to see that I'm not logged out anymore. So just stepping back to my personal account, you can see the flag has disappeared. And with that, I can now go forward. Yes, for the future, some improvements are possible. For example, that we find a task here that allows as well to unlock that. And yes, of course, for all the people who loves the database, it is not that hard just to use SQL to get that logged out flag resetted using, for example, the object browser. In the manager, this is not possible, as we all can see, especially because this specific field, it's not part of the master data as we saw it in the past.